So in continuation with occupational health, we'll be talking about how we can prevent these occupational diseases, and specifically we'll be talking about the two acts which are very frequently asked in your examination in your theory papers. That is the Factories Act and the ESI Act. So you should be very thorough with both of these acts. So just talking about what are the various type of preventive measures, we can classify them into three categories. One is medical, one is engineering, and one is relating to administrative or legal aspects. So under the medical measures that we can take care of for preventing occupational diseases, these are to required to monitor the effectiveness of engineering controls. Then the engineering measures, they are best to reduce the exposure, and under the legislative measures, emphasis is given to reduce the exposure and to take care of things accordingly. So talking about of the medical measures, first of all, what all can be there? First of all is the pre-placement examination. What do you understand by pre-placement examination? As we say, नाम में ही सब कुछ होता है. So it is telling you what it is meaning, pre-placement examination. Can anyone tell me? Before a person is placed for a job, so we need to go for a pre-placement examination. तो हमें ये देखना है कि already उसे कोई ऐसी sorry, he is not suffering from any such disease which is harmful or which might expose or make him more prone to a disease due to working in that, under that occupation or under that job. So we need to do a medical examination. अगर कोई स्किन पेंट एंड डाइज की इंडस्ट्री में काम कर रहा है, सो व्हाट वी नीड टू चेक फॉर, क्या नहीं होना चाहिए उसे. ही शुडंट बी एलर्जिक टू सर्टेन केमिकल्स, कोई डर्मेटाइटिस की हिस्ट्री नहीं होनी चाहिए, या इफ अ पर्सन इज वर्किंग इन अ इंडस्ट्री वेयर ही इज एक्सपोज टू डस्ट, so is he already prone to some respiratory disease, then he should not be placed in such a job. Then comes the second thing, that is periodical examination. So in any job where the person is employed, periodically examination needs to be done. And it is not only for, even in our institute, we all faculty go for a periodical examination. Like every year we need to go for an annual health checkup. So similarly, in any industry, in any job, there is a concept of periodical examination, and in a condition where there is more exposure, like exposure to dust, exposure to chemicals, there the frequency can be even monthly or quarterly, or it can be 6 monthly or annual also. Then they need to be provided with medical and healthcare services. Certain diseases need to be notified if they are occurring, and we'll be talking about this in detail in the coming acts. Then the working environment in which the people are working, that needs to be supervised. Whether वहाँ पे air की quality कैसी है, पानी like drinking water that is being provided वो कैसा है, are there facilities for washing, for like having their lunch, for rest, all this needs to be supervised. And maintaining and analyzing of the analysis of the records need to be done. As I said, in our institute also all the faculty goes for an annual health checkup. So there also the records are being maintained by the HR department. So similarly, in any job, in any factory, this is being done, and health education and counseling need to be done. Why this is important? Why this is important? Why we need to educate and counsel the people? Yeah, suppose a person is employed in an industry where he is to deal with chemicals and dyes. So he need to be made aware that if he is not using personal protective measures, he might be exposed to certain diseases and certain hazards. So if he is not knowing, he won't take care. But if he knows that this can be an harm, he or she will be cautious in that job. And if he has a problem, he can report it to the authorities. Now coming to the engineering measures. So under the engineering measures, besides the medical measures that we talked about, we need to look at the design of the building, the ventilation, good housekeeping, mechanization. Like it has been fixed that there should be a space of 500 cubic feet for every worker for proper and adequate ventilation in the area where he or she is working. Then there can be substitution, like if we are using some harmful subjects, we can harmful chemicals, we can substitute it to a lesser harmful. For example, instead of harmful lead paints, we can use zinc or iron paints, which are less harmful for the workers. Then the dust. So if the dust is being generated, suppose stone ki cutting ho rahi hai, so there would be quite a lot of dust that is being generated, and the workers would be inhaling that dust. So what can be done? We can modify it. Like we can do it, we can spray water, or we can wet the stone and then it can be cut. So there won't be generation of much amount of dust. Then for the like machines where they are generating offensive products, they can be encased. They can be put in an enclosure so that less number of people are getting exposed. नहीं तो क्या होगा, अगर यहाँ पे कोई मशीन रखी हुई है जिसमें से कुछ fumes या chemicals generate हो रहे हैं and it is kept in open, so what will happen? All of you sitting here would be exposed to that. But if it is enclosed in a chamber, that we can cut down that. Then local exhaust ventilation, कि जहाँ पे जो चीज़ अगर सपोज डस्ट जनरेट हो रही है वहीं पे एक लोकल एग्जॉस्ट वेंटिलेशन है, तो इट वुड बी आउट, इट वोंट बी स्प्रेडिंग ऑल इन द एरिया. Then the use of protective devices, like if those people who are working in chemical or dyes factory, they are advised to use gloves when they are handling those chemicals. They can use masks so that they can like inhale less of fumes. Then again, monitoring of the environment is very necessary. Statistical monitoring is to be done, and research needs to be done to substitute harmful substances with lesser harmful substances. Now coming to the legislation, which is the third important measure in prevention of occupational diseases. So we have two very important acts. One is the Factories Act, which we'll be talking about in detail. This came up in 1948. If we go into the history of it, it was in 1881 that the first Factory Act was passed, and it was designed to protect children and health and safety of the workers. But actual Factories Act, it came into force in India in 1949, which we call it as Factories Act 1948. It came into effect from April 1949, and it extends to whole of India, and it was amended many times. The last amendment was in 1987. So under this Factories Act, again you get MCQs on this. How can we define a factory? इस पे आपका MCQ भी आता है. You can get a short note also. So wherein 10 or more workers are working with the aid of power. कोई power use हो रहा है और उस 10 people are working. Or the other thing is that if the power is not being used, if the people are working just by hands, so in that case 20 or more workers, they constitute a factory. So following these works, they can be counted under a factory act, that is salt works, a shed of grinning and pressing of cotton. Again, you can get these choices in your MCQs. A beady making shed, a railway workshop, composting work for letterpress printing, sawmills, and place of preparation of foodstuff and other eatables. All these come under the category of factory if they are working with power. How many? 10 or more. It is not just a fixed number, it can be minimum we need to have 10 people, and if they are working without the aid of power, 20 or more. So the employer under this Factories Act need to ensure health of workers, and what are the criteria? They are pertaining to cleanliness, disposal of waste and effluents, ventilation and temperature, dust and fumes, overcrowding, artificial humidification and lighting. So there should be no overcrowding, but there has to be artificial humidification and proper lighting, and proper availability of drinking water and spittoons should be provided. Then what are the safety measures? Fencing of the machinery needs to be done. Can you please be quiet? So safety measures need to be done related to work on or near the machinery which is in motion. मूवमेंट वाली मशीनरी है उसके अराउंड भी सेफ्टी मेजर्स लेने जरूरी हैं. एम्प्लॉयमेंट प्रोहिबिशंस ऑफ यंग पर्सन ऑन डेंजरस मशीन्स. किस एज से नीचे हम एम्प्लॉय नहीं कर सकते? बिलो द एज ऑफ 14. देन safety measures need to be taken for devices for cutting of power, self-acting machines, casing of new machinery should be done, prohibition of employment of women and children near cotton openers, and hoist and lifts. Now besides the safety measures, we need to have certain welfare measures for the employees, and these are related to washing facilities, facilities for storing and drying clothing. You would have seen that in many factories, the employees, they have to work in a proper uniform. So there should be washing facilities. So many factories, many these provide the workers with a washing allowance that is necessary. If they are not providing washing facilities, they provide a washing allowance to them, which they can use for getting their dresses or uniforms washed and ironed. So there should be facility for storing and drying clothing, facilities for sitting. ऐसा नहीं कि आप employee को बोलो कि आपको हमेशा खड़े रह के ही काम करना है. You need to provide them facilities for sitting also. First aid box for every 150 workers should be there. Canteens when there are 250 or more workers. Again ये numbers जो हैं they come in your MCQs कि कितने workers पे at least you need to have one first aid box, and on how many number of workers you need to have a canteen. Then shelters, restrooms and lunchrooms when there are 150 or more workers. Creches when there are more than or equal to 30 female workers. Welfare office when there are 500 or more workers, and security officer where 1000 or more workers are employed. So you must be remembering all these datas because you get questions on this कि कितने workers पे क्या क्या facility आपको provide करनी है. Now talking about the working hours and spread over of the working hours and overtime of adults. So weekly hours not more than 48 hours of working, daily hours not more than 9 hours, and there should be an interval of rest for at least half hour when continuously working for 5 hours. Spread over should not be more than 10.5 hours. कि अगर हम ये कहें कि हमने 5-5 घंटे की 3 shifts करा ली, no, it should not be spread over of more than 10.5. Overlapping shifts should be prohibited, and extra wages are given for overtime which are double the normal rate. ऐसा नहीं कि जो normal उन्हें payment मिल रहा है बस उतना ही payment per hour और मिल जाएगा. It should be double that rate because it is over the time, over the guided time duration, that is 48 hours. Restriction on employment of women and children before 6 a.m. and beyond 7 p.m. So it should not be beyond it for safety reasons. Now talking about employment of young people, young person. So as I told you that children under 14 years cannot be allowed to work. It is illegal. That would be termed as child labor. So below 14 years. इसीलिए आप जब अपना family presentation करते हैं, there also when you are talking about of occupation, you need to see that you are looking at people over the age of 14 years. अगर 14 years से कोई नीचे work कर रहा है, then you have to report it as child labor. Then 15 to 18-year-old, which are adolescents, they should be certified by the certifying surgeons regarding if they are fit for doing that work or not. Then only they can be employed. Otherwise, they cannot be employed. And again, similar to the female workers, the adolescents, they are allowed to work only between 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Not before that and not beyond that. Now coming to the annual leave. So any worker who has worked for at least 240 days is allowed an annual leave of 1 day for every 20 days, and for a child 1 day for working for continuous 15 days. And these leaves can be accumulated till 30 days. Now regarding the occupational diseases that might arise due to an occupation, it is obligatory for the factory management to notify those diseases, to give information regarding any accident that occurred which caused death or serious injury, and regarding the occupational diseases which have been contracted by employees. कि अगर किसी को occupational cancer हो गया, किसी को occupational dermatitis हो गई, या a person is suffering from pneumoconiosis who was working in an area where dust was being generated. So they need to report these. And there are certain notifiable diseases. Notifiable diseases, they need to be reported. And these are the 4 diseases which, conditions or diseases which need to be notified. Bicinnosis किसके कारण होता है? This is due to cotton dust. So if a person is inhaling cotton dust, it can lead to bicinnosis. Then the other one is asbestosis. This is due to inhalation of asbestos fumes. Then occupational dermatitis and noise-induced hearing loss. If a person is working in an area where the machine is creating too much of noise, it can lead to noise-induced hearing. So these 4 are under the Factories Act. These 4 conditions or diseases are notifiable. Again, you can get a short note or an MCQ on this. Then coming to the ESI. What is the full form for ESI? Employee State Insurance. So ESI Act it was passed again in 1948, in the same year as the Factories Act, and it was amended multiple times, with last amendment being in 2010. So this is an integrated social security scheme. Again, this is very important. Again, you can get question on this. So this is an integrated social security scheme. What does this mean? What do you mean by integrated social security scheme? What does it does? It provides protection to workers and full medical facility to the insured person and also to their families, dependent persons. So under the ESI Act provision, again, how we define a factory? employing 10 or more person irrespective of whether power is being used or not. So here comes the difference from the Factories Act. Factories Act में क्या था? 10 or more with power and 20 or more without power. But here it is 10 or more irrespective of whether power is being used or not used. So this scheme extends to shops, hotels, restaurants, cinemas, including preview theatres, road motor transport undertakings, newspaper establishment, employing 20 or more persons. तो ये वाले जो हैं, like 10 or more तो है ही हमारा, they constitute factories. But these which are not labeled under factories, if they are employing 20 or more persons, then these all would be covered under ESI Act. And this is also extended to private medical and educational institutes employing 20 or more persons, but that is only in certain states, not in all the states. So the existing wage limit of a person who is covered under ESI Act is at least it should not be beyond 21,000 rupees per month. अगर इससे ज़्यादा salary मिल रही है तो the person won't be covered under the ESI Act. So if we look at the data, the coverage of this ESI Act as on March 31st, 2015, 203 lakh family units are covered and 179.5 lakh number of employees are covered under this. So as we talked about that this is an integrated approach or integrated social security measure where it is contributory. So employer and employee का contribution एक specified rate पे है. Employee, that is the worker, is giving 0.75% of the wages. So only on 0.75% of the wages that he is contributing, he is getting a large umbrella of benefits. The employer who is employing these employees, he gives 3.2% of the wages, and the state government bears 1/8 of the cost of medical care, and the balance is made by the corporation, that is ESI corporation. And ये जो 3.25% employee देता है of his or her wages, this is exempted for a person who is getting a daily wage of rupees 176 per day. So they don't need to contribute at all because already उनकी wages बहुत कम है. So again this is also very important कि कितना percent wages contribute हो रहा है and कितना percent state government bear कर रही है and कितना percent corporation bear कर रहा है. So as I told you, just by giving 0.75% of the wages, the benefits that an employee is getting is a large number. They are getting medical benefits, cash benefits, maternity benefit, dependent benefit, rehabilitation allowance, and funeral expenses. So again, I have highlighted this here again. 3.25% employer's contribution and 0.75% of employees' contribution. So this makes up for 4% of their wages. Now talking about the medical benefits. You get a separate short note on medical benefit or dependent benefit or funeral or maternity benefits. So you should be clear about this. So they provide full medical care, and this medical care is in the form of medical attendance, treatment, drugs and injections, specialist consultations, and hospitalization to insured persons and their families. So it is not just the worker who is getting this benefit, his family is also getting this benefit. So the facilities that give this medical benefit are ESI dispensaries, ESI hospitals and diagnostic centers. So what facilities they provide? They give you OPD treatment, that is outpatient treatment, free supply of drugs and dressings, specialist consultation. Even if like certain drugs that are being prescribed are not available at the dispensary, they are reimbursed. Then X-ray and lab investigations, domiciliary treatment, antenatal, confinement and postnatal care, vaccination and preventive inoculations. Then besides this, family welfare services and other national health programs, emergency services, ambulance service or conveyance charges for going to hospital, diagnostic center. Suppose a person was referred to another hospital, care the care for that patient was not adequately available at that ESI dispensary. So even जो उसका travel में खर्च हो रहा है, that too would be borne by the ESI, under the ESI Act. Then health education, inpatient treatment and other facilities like free supply of artificial limbs, aids and appliances for physical rehabilitation. These are also covered under the medical benefits. Then comes the cash benefits. So what are the cash benefits? The medical benefits say, now what are the cash benefits that are given? So normally sickness benefit is granted for up till 91 days, and अगर ये sickness के कारण कोई छुट्टी ले रहा है, leave ले रहा है, तो for 91 days he get wages of at the rate of 70% of his wages. So it is not so कि अगर वो बीमार है तो he won't be getting any wages, he would be getting 70% of his wages, and this is extendable up till 2 years if the need arises. And there is an benefit of enhanced cash benefit which is given for vasectomy and tubectomy, 7 days for vasectomy and 14 days for tubectomy at the rate of full wages. ऊपर वाला हमारा sickness benefit is for 70% of the wages, but the enhanced sickness benefit is for full wages, at the rate of full wages. Then comes the disablement benefit. So it is given in case there is employment injury or any occupational disease. तो जहाँ वो जॉब कर रहा है वहाँ के कारण अगर उसे कोई इंजरी हुई है या उसे कोई डिजीज हुई वहाँ के किसी एक्सपोजर के कारण, एक्सीडेंट के कारण, then this is the benefit that is being granted. And we can again classify into two: temporary disablement and permanent disablement. So under the temporary disablement, 90% of the wages are given as long as temporary disablement lasts. अगर suppose उसका accident हो गया, he had a fracture, तो he would be given 90% of the wages जब तक कि he is not certified fit to return back to his or her job. In case of total permanent disablement, suppose उसकी vision loss हो गया accident में, तो the person would be given life pension. In case of partial permanent disablement, again a portion of it is given as a life pension. Then comes the dependence benefit. In case that the employee expires when he was under working condition, in that case, so it is very necessary that the disease should be employee on the date of fatal accident, and that accident occurred when he was working there. ऐसा नहीं कि when he was going from his home, from the job, he met with an accident. In that case, he won't be given this dependence benefit. In that case, if the person is covered under ESI Act, the dependents on him will get a benefit, and this would be given to the widow, to the mother, or to adopted or legitimate children until they are 18 years of age. And this is shared. Suppose उसकी wife भी है, उसकी mother भी है, and उसके 18 years से छोटे बच्चे भी हैं, तो क्या होगा? The portion that dependent benefit is given in a fixed ratio according to the prescribed share. उसका ratio divide होगा and that would be given to that dependent family. Then comes the maternity benefit. Again you get a short note on maternity benefit. So this is payment of contribution for 70 days and the duration for, sorry, not 70 days, it is for 26 weeks for confinement. Full term pregnancy, delivery हो गई तो उस केस में 26 days के लिए leaves would be given. In case of a miscarriage it is 6 weeks and leave for 30 days is given for sickness related to confinement, and the rate at which this benefit is given is at full wages. जो उसको wages मिल रही हैं employee को उसी same rate पे उसे payment मिलेगा for this duration. Then comes funeral benefit. So if the person is insured on the date of death, he is insured under the ESI Act, then a funeral benefit of 15,000 rupees is given to that family. Then we have one more, that is rehabilitation. So like suppose a person is not, he is retired from his job. So on payment of rupees 120 or payment of rupees 10 per month, the person and his family will get the benefits, all the ESI benefits जिनकी हमने बात की अभी, especially the medical benefits for the period for which contribution is paid. So this is on contributory one, that is if the person is paying 10 rupees per month, he'll get all the medical benefits for that period. So it is a good choice because otherwise 10 rupees में आपको कहीं भी कोई भी medical benefits नहीं मिलेंगे. You won't be getting free OPD facilities, free domiciliary care, free lab and X-ray investigations or free medicines. So this is again a very nice rehabilitation benefit that is given to person who are under the registered under the ESI Act. So can we just revise a little bit? What are the various preventive measures? कौन से 3 measures हैं? Can you name? Medical measures, engineering measures, and related to legislation. So what are the 2 very important acts related to legislation? Factory Act and ESI Act. Both of them were started in 1948. Under Factories Act, we define a factory as more than 10 if power, more than 20 if without power, and under ESI Act 10 or more. Then what are the various benefits that are given under ESI Act? Medical benefits, maternity benefits, cash benefits or dependent benefits, funeral benefits, rehabilitation benefits. What were the 4 diseases or health related events that need to be notified under the Factories Act? Dysinosis, asbestosis, noise induced hearing loss, and occupation related dermatitis. Okay, so this was all about the 2 acts and prevention of occupational disease.